What's up? So the clip you just saw is from my morning routine. Uh, as you can tell, it's not morning. Things happen. I had class. Anyway, today's video topic, we're going to talk about the methods of thinking. Be like, Hamza, I already know how to think. What the fuck? And I don't know. Keep watching and maybe you'll learn something new. Now, for the first method of thinking, which is micro versus macro, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Hello. So you might have noticed it's not nighttime anymore. So not only did we travel in a different place, we traveled to a different time. Now, the first method of thinking we're going to discuss is micro versus macro thinking. And for that, we're in my room. So, what is micro thinking? Micro thinking or macro thinking. Now, you might have used these in your English class. You know, the main idea is kind of like macro, and micro is kind of like the literary techniques in the passage. So how do you apply this to your life and different things, right? So let's say we're talking about my room, right? In the macro sense, you would discuss where the room is situated, how big the room is, stuff like that. But in the macro way of thinking, you would look at the carpet in the room, the individual furniture in the room, stuff like that, the lights in the room, And so when do you micro think and when do you macro think? You need to really manage these because it depends on how big you want to go and how small you want to go in the realm of whatever you're studying or looking at. So let's say if I'm talking about the room, I'm not gonna go super macro into like the building and stuff like that or like the entire campus. I'm gonna stay in the realm of my dorm. And micro, well, how micro do you want to go is also dependent on what you're trying to think about. So moving on from macro thinking and micro thinking, is the second method of thinking, which I label as answers or statements or observations. We do this all the time. We could be like, yo, look at that dude over there. He's gay. My ass is hairy. The sky is blue. Earth is flat, right? Things like that. Observations. Now, observations can be a little tricky because they are purely sensical. So what you hear, what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch are all observations. And the way you think about these can also be done in a micro and macro scale, right? So you can make my macro observation or you can make a micro observation, things like that. Now that is directly connected to the third method of thinking, which is questions or rationalization. So you would be like, oh, the sky is blue. Well, why is the sky blue, right? You would question your observation and then you would end up with different answers that you would then question again from a macro micro scale or whatever, right? That's the third method. Fourth method of thinking is not thinking at all. So things you didn't think about, you think about those things. Now this might be like, what the fuck does that mean? So what the fuck are you talking about? So what you do essentially is you recall everything that's happened and you try to pinpoint things you've missed. So you can do this by revisiting, reflecting, stuff like that, and thinking about things you haven't thought about, right? Like things you missed, things you purposefully ignored subconsciously. You consciously then take them out and then think about those things, which can, give you a deeper understanding of the whole situation. So like during your micro thinking phase of a certain object, what did you miss? Did you not look at the macro scale or like, stuff like that? So these are all connected, all right? Like if you made an observation, was your observation, minute, was big? Did you observe something specifically or like did you observe the whole thing? What types of questions did you ask? What did you not question? Things like that, you know. You gotta reflect. So whatever you've thought about, whatever you've, you know, philosophized about, you gotta think about what you didn't philosophize about. What did you miss? What did you not question? Stuff like that. So that's pretty handy dandy, simple stuff. Now, there's the fifth method of thinking, which is various points of views. Now, we're going to talk about how to get into these various points of views in a different video, and how you can, you know, apply yourself to them. But what I basically mean here is that you observe things, question things, micro scale, and think about things you've not thought about during your initial thinking phase through different point of views. What do I mean by different point of views? Well, there's the naturalist point of view, there's the conservative point of view, liberal point of view. There's hundreds of point of views, right? Wealthy point of view, poor point of view, you know, multiple, just copious amounts of points of views, and you have to be able to think through all of them. All. It's a bit daunting, it is, but if you want to get a deeper understanding, you gotta think of it in at least 5 different POVs. That way you will get a different approach. So then you might get a different idea of how to approach something by, you know, looking at things from a different perspective. The sixth and final method of thinking that I've come up with here is inward versus outward thinking. Now, inward thinking is when you think in your head. You just, you know, observing, conversing with yourself. You know, you're just in your own mind. You're thinking about things. You're rationalizing the world. Outward thinking is when you write stuff out, or you speak, or, you know, things like that. Inward thinking can also be listening. When you listen to something, you're internalizing it. Outward is when you're putting it out. So both of those can help. Whatever you're discussing, thinking about, whatever's going on, you internalize it first and then externalize it, or you can externalize it first and then internalize it. Both of those things are very important. Now that we have gone over all the methods of thinking, we're going to use these and go over some of my personal philosophies, and then we're going to discuss later on in the channel different philosophical ideas like Plato's allegory of the cave and stuff like that from my worldview, from my lens, and we're going to think about all these things with these methods of thinking. So this is a nice intro to you know, how to approach this type of material, or any material, therefore. Thanks for watching. I know I wasn't too energetic or you know, excited, funny in this video, but I promise later on this was kind of an intro video, just to get the basis straight of what do I mean by philosophize and how you can do these things. And hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like,